Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we have the first big haul of 2025 from the bargain bins. It's going to be huge. Another one's going to be split into two parts because it's just so massive. Starting off, we're going to go through all of the DVDs and Blu-rays and the VHS, all the movie and TV media type stuff, and we're going to add in the beginning here just a couple of video game finds that happen to be in there with all that kind of stuff for the PS1. We have Chrono Cross, one of my favorite Squaresoft games from the 90s, as well as Star Ocean. Finding this just in the bottom of those bargain bins was amazing. I love that. PS1 RPGs, cannot beat that. And there's a handful of PSP sports and like hunting games that were stuck in there, but the games were in there, and a lot of times those are just kind of empty. So tons of those. Starting then with some Blu-rays, getting into the mountains upon mountains of DVDs. We have Batman, Bad Blood, Salem's Lot, Inside Man, the Criterion of The Girl Can't Help It. This is one I'm going to have to check out in comparison to my DVD copy and see whether or not it's worth the upgrade. So a couple of things like that today I found. They have Clint Eastwood's Every Which Way But Loose, the Clint Eastwood and the monkey movie, Aquaman, Rage of Atlantis, some Lego superhero stuff, and the Emoji Movie. And now on to the monster collection of DVDs, starting off with a bunch of box sets, a couple of stacks of those. This, the Many Fists of Bruce Lee box set. Raging Bull, the 2-disc box set. Harry Potter, the years 1 through 4 DVD set. The Brady Bunch, seasons 1 and 3 with these cool lenticular covers. Thought those were nice, better than the editions I've seen before. A Laurel and Hardy collection with 14 shorts, it looks like, a bunch of different stuff. So the Laurel and Hardy collections, there's so many of those and so much variety in what they actually include. An X-Men collection with the first 3 of those films. And then Indiana Jones, we have Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, along with the widescreen edition of the complete collection of the original trilogy, with that 4th disc with all those bonus materials. I really like this edition for all that extra content. Then we have a monster collection of Clint Eastwood stuff, starting off with the A&E biography. So we have a Hang 'em High, and then a large selection all from that Clint Eastwood collection with that kind of brown border, all those Warner Snapcase styles, the Snapcase DVDs. So a big set of those. Some of them are even still sealed. It was definitely someone's collection at some point. And then some Quentin Tarantino, 2 different copies of the Pulp Fiction box set, as well as the 10 years special edition of Reservoir Dogs, fold out and everything, as well as Django Unchained, the Criterion of Spartacus, another one that'll be an upgrade for me because I just have a regular DVD edition of that. So this 2-disc set with the booklet and everything for Spartacus. And this I'm really excited about. Probably the most, for me, exciting thing in here. Completely brand new sealed. This TMC Spotlight collection with William Powell and Myrna Loy. My favorite duo, my favorite team in all of movies, in all of cinema history. And this is a great collection of a bunch of their movies together, and it's completely sealed. And it's going to be interesting too because there are 2 versions of this set. A larger one with the more individual cases and things that is a huge chance of having manufacturer's defects, and this one's a little less likely. So I'm excited to break this open and get into it and watch all these, and hopefully they're all in working order. Then found a bunch of football stuff. It was actually worth grabbing, a bunch of Super Bowl spotlight kind of things. And then getting into all the individual stuff, we have All the President's Men, Jeremiah Johnson, The Hustler, Paul Newman and Fort Apache, The Bronx, a Chucky collection, which includes Child's Play 2, 3, Bride, and Seed of Chucky, Jackie Chan First Strike. Actually found a decent amount of Jackie today. Pretty unusual to find more than 1 or 2 at a time. The 10 Commandments, the 2-disc edition, a bunch of extra features. And then we have Saving Private Ryan, Magnificent Seven, Road to Perdition, Sniper, Bullet, Burt Reynolds in Hooper, Jackie Chan, Drunken Master. My Lucky Stars is a really good one, another good Jackie. For Richer and Poorer. Heart of Dragon. The Christmas Card. Year of the Horse, Neil Young and Crazy Horse Live. X-Men First Class. Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. Underworld. Simpsons Movie. Rebel Without a Cause is the 2-disc special edition. It actually has a whole lot of stuff on here. Reading on the back, 50th anniversary documentary, plus a different vintage documentary about James Dean just in general, 3 segments from a Warner Archive TV presentation that are preserved on here, so tons of extra stuff on that one. Misery, Manhunter, the 2-disc anniversary edition of Scarface, Man on Fire, Red Heat, the 2-disc limited edition of Return of the Jedi, 13 Days, Southern Fried Chicks, a sealed copy, which is really nice to find, of the Warner Snap case of Bonnie and Clyde. That was really cool. Sleepy Hollow, Shaft, The Expendables, Batman Under the Red Hood, a 2-disc edition. This is another one, it's just a different version than I've ever come across. I always see the single disc edition like all the time, but this one, along with new animated short starring Jonah Hex and a bunch of other different stuff on here. I've not come across this particular set. Justice League Action, Muppets from Space, Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie Halloween 2, Airplane 2, The Mask of Zorro, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, the Lego Star Wars, The Yoda Chronicles, McLintlock with John Wayne, Beverly Hills Ninja, Midnight Cowboy, Die Hard, Stargate, the original movie, Spawn, Dead Man Walking, Wanted. Oh, another Clint Eastwood, I have to add that to that collection. We have Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. To add that to that set we have. Another Shaft. This is a Charlton Heston double feature with Ben-Hur and the Ten Commandments. Rocky. Spartacus. Ray. Serpico. Patton. Caddyshack. Gladiator. 1408. Alice in Wonderland. Freaks. What is this? Rooster Cogburn. Never heard of this one. In the Lady, but it has John Wayne and Katharine Hepburn. I don't know why I've never heard of this one before in the Western collection. I'm not really super into Westerns, so that might be why, but just curious. I haven't heard of that one before. This is cool, a 2-disc special edition of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. That's a fascinating movie to watch, and I'm curious, yeah, it has at least 3 documentaries, because I feel like this is one of those movies where the behind the scenes is almost as fascinating, if not more fascinating, than the movie, which is already good. But I love when that's the case, and then there's lots of behind the scenes and documentaries. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Paint Your Wagon. This is cool. I have multiple copies then of the Steve McQueen movie. This is the older Warner Snap case. I really like those, especially when they're in really good condition. Just something very unique when those came out. Suicide Kings, some more Jackie with Mr. Nice Guy, one of my favorites. Wrong Turn, The First Airplane, Scary Movie, White Christmas, some Thomas and Friends double feature, Finding Nemo, Alice in Wonderland, the Disney one, Tron Legacy, Porky's, Braveheart, Lewis and Clark. This is the Great Journey West, narrated by Jeff Bridges from National Geographic. Jet Li, Black Mask. Payback, Mel Gibson. Carole King in Concert. Step Brothers. Unbreakable. Born Free. Project Nim. One of the Ronnie Coleman DVDs. Back in the golden age of bodybuilding. Once Upon a Time in China, Stallone, Lockup. I think this is an underrated prison drama. It's nothing incredible, but as far as people mention Stallone movies, I never really hear them mention this one. I have this one on Laserdisc and probably watch it once every 2 or 3 years or so. But I think it's a fun prison drama. Copland. This is one that gets a lot of praise. Definitely not underrated. Rambo 2. Legend of Bagger Vance. Lethal Weapon 4. Behind Enemy Lines. Body of Lies. Tarzan. Brian's Song. John Q. The Contractor, Wesley Snipes. Harlem Nights. Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. Twister. The Alamo. Easy Rider. Afro Samurai. X-Men 1.5. The Vow. Death Proof. Point Break. Courage Under Fire. Slumdog Millionaire. Wolf. This is a pretty decent werewolf movie. It's another one of those that I have on Laserdisc. I've watched this a couple of times, but that's a pretty interesting one with Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, that I don't really hear anyone talk about. Munich. Schindler's List. American Graffiti. True Grit. Out of Time. Green Berets. The Hulk. And the Hulk, with 2 different versions here. This is the Ang Lee version. This is the Edward Norton one. So 2 different Hulks. Very, very different interpretations of the Hulk on the screen. The 6 Brandenburg Concertos. It's a Wonderful Life. Cinderella Man. The Setup. Dora the Explorer Egg Hunt. The Losers. Holiday Inn. Some Handy Manny. Never heard of this one before. I guess maybe it's a spin-off of what's that show with the Bob the Builder, something along those lines. Beverly Hills Cop 3. Glory. Mystic River. And Predator. Now moving on to the VHS. A couple of pokey the little puppy, little golden book VHS tapes, as well as some Arthur, which I can't believe is actually off the air. Clifford, Big Red Dog, and this is a screening copy of Fairy Tale: A True Story. Some Winnie the Pooh, Street Fighter, Boys to Men, Rugrats: The Santa Experience, with a very creepy cover with Tommy. I've seen a bunch of different covers of this one. I think the Christmas one got released multiple times, but this one in particular just has some really weird, creepy art for Tommy Pickles. Some DuckTales, Princess Bride. I love this old style, these Warner cases for Excalibur. Usually had that green or orange on the background. They look really cool, a little more hardy, and the beta would have come in that as well from that time frame. The Cartoon Network cover for this clamshell of a Flintstones Christmas Carol. And that is it for part 1. It's all the video media, that kind of stuff. If you're into all the books and the music and all that kind of things, check out the next video. We're going to go into all of that.